Senate of Nigeria has rejected the motion seeking a political solution to free the leader of the proscribed indigenous peoples of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, from detention at the Department of State Service, the DSS. It also reached a resolution calling for the extradition of a self-acclaimed leader of the separatist group, Simon Ekpa, from his base in Finland to face charges for his sit-at-home calls and inciting trouble in Nigeria's southeast. Our National Assembly correspondent Omo Bazwai has more on this.
Simon Ekpa, a self-styled leader of separatist group Indigenous People of Biafra, has been passing several orders from his base in Finland to his followers, establishing a strict sit-at-home order in Nigeria's southern states. In the absence of Nnamdi Kanu, crippling commercial activities in the region. On Wednesday, the activities of Ekpa and his gang finally caught the attention of the Senate, following a motion by Imo West Senator Osita Isinazor. Isinazor's motion was co-sponsored by all other 14 senators from the southeast, inviting Nigeria's federal might to end the rascality of Simon Ekpa and his band of outlaws in the region.
The Senate is aware that thousands of innocent lives have been lost since this action of sit-at-home in the southeast started, and properties worth over $1 trillion have been destroyed, which has resulted in investors leaving the region.
2023. Efforts by the governors of the 5 southeastern states have achieved little to no end in the terror activities of Ekpa and his men. Kanu was extradited from Kenya in 2021 after he jumped bail in Nigeria, alleging threats to his life by Nigerian security forces. On October 2022, Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court struck out 8 out of the 15-count charge earlier brought against Kanu by the Nigerian government. The appellate court ordered his release on account of his unlawful extradition from Kenya to Nigeria to face terrorism charges. But the Supreme Court overturned the decision of the Federal High Court, leaving Kanu in detention since then.
My fellow Biafrans, my message today on this 14th day of July is going to be very different. I am not here to give update. Every update we have is in the public. And I believe that if you are here watching this program, you may have been following the Biafra Liberation live and direct. My fellow Biafrans, as we approach the declaration which is to take place during our convention in Finland on the 2nd of December 2024, there are things that we must do. As we continue to protect our land, as the Biafra Defense Force increase the defense of our land, the defense of our women and our children, it is the most important thing for this government to protect the rights, the properties, and of course, the life of our children in Biafra land. For us to achieve this and make our place a better place for all of us, we must bear in mind that our blow to Nigeria state and to Nigeria terrorist state must continue to be deep. I mean, our liberation going forward as we approach November, December, must continue to be deep blow on the Nigeria terrorist state. until our declaration and beyond. Nigeria has dealt with us for many years. We have seen ethnic cleansing of our people. We have seen attempted annihilation of Biafra people, including changing in demography, distorting our map without any consent from the indigenous people of Biafra. Because we have entered almost the final stage of the liberation of Biafra. The world is talking about the Biafra today. We have been able to put the information, the issue of Biafra in the world global stage. We must make sure that our wrath against terrorist state of Nigeria remain invisible. Our wrath remain invisible. We will continue to deal with Nigeria, and Nigeria will not know what is dealing to them. And that is the invisible of the wrath of Biafra people. We must not have mercy on Nigeria terrorist state. I am telling you, the dimension that we are entering from now is that every personnel of the Biafra Defense Force must understand that going forward, we must not have mercy on Nigeria terrorist state, nor on the enemies in our land. No mercy. As we continue to defend our land against terrorist state of Nigeria and their foot soldiers, our happiness must always be at the tip of our sword, at the tip of our mara, at the tip of our guns. That's where our happiness should lie. As we continue to defend our land against Nigeria terrorism, our heart will always know no pity. This message today is directly to any person that is involved in our security in the homeland. There will be no pity against anything Nigeria within Biafra land. Our heart must know no pity. I want you to understand that our cry of war will be given for our country, Biafra, which is now finally cutting the Nigeria and British chain of slavery, decade of slavery. Our defiance will not be passed until the Biafra people and the Biafra nation are free. My fellow Biafrans, when the rest of the indigenous people in Nigeria or other ethnic group, as you may call them, and the land, they continue to hang their heads as they bow to the terrorism of the Nigeria state. We, the brave, from the land of brave, called Biafra. We, the lions and lioness of the emerging state and the United States of Biafra, believed in our chests. We have denied 1,000 pains since the amalgamation of Nigeria. But only one proud, holy thought, which is that as we approach the 2nd of December declaration of the restoration of independent state of Biafra, Biafrans, we must rise against Nigeria terrorist state. We must rise against Nigeria terrorism, against our people and our land. We must rise against the massacre of our people by the Nigeria state in Biafra land, like the revenge of the Kullervo. For many people do not understand the Kullervo concept. Kullervo, dagger, and melee deals high damage, very high damage size. The Kullervo size the power of treachery to slake his thirst for revenge. In Kullervo, even the kingdom cannot shelter you from your sin. If you die 10,000 deaths, and your crimes will still pursue you. That is exactly what Kullervo does. We have opened that chapter in the Biafra liberation. Your crime can never be forgiven. Especially betraying our people, betraying our freedom, and costing the life of hundreds and thousands of Biafrans, including the opportunity to excel in life and live a better life than every other person in Africa. This generation of Biafra fighters, of which you and I are opportune to be part of, we inherited this war that we are now fighting today, defending ourselves. We shall fight and finish it. We shall pass not the war unto our children, but sweetly those destinies of this war. And a new table will be born of Biafra, which will grow, charge, and triumph. Therefore, my Biafra people in Germany, I call on you, Igbos, I call on you, Efik, I call on you, Ibibios, I call on you, Ogoni, and the Jaws in Germany and beyond. There is only one Biafra, and its ideal cannot be removed by share of force, or by share of gun, or by shares of barrels of the gun and bullet of the Nigeria terrorist state. This Biafra remain Biafra. It remain our nation. And we must not allow the share of the Nigeria forces to force us away from our own freedom and the land of the rising sun. I repeat, I call on you, Igbos, Efik, Ibibio, Ogoni, and just in Germany and beyond. There is only one Biafra, and its ideal cannot be removed by sheer force away from under the old eastern region sky. Its sun is rising very fast, and the dragon flag of the Biafra Defense Force is carried by the strong hand of the Biafra Liberation Army and the Biafra Defense Forces over the roars of the bloody battlefield in the eastern part of Nigeria, Biafra land. From the southeast to the rising shore of the Bight of Biafra, today the Biafra Bakassi Peninsula up to the Gulf of Guinea. We shall control our territory and our waterways. For us to do this, you must know that resources, finance, physical commitment, and otherwise is needed for us to achieve this goal that will benefit our generation and unborn generation of Biafra people. Biafrans in Germany, if you know what freedom is all about, this time you come forward and support the liberation of Biafra with whatever you have. We will make sure that our bullet will never run out of bullet. The Biafra Defense Force will never run out of bullet. It is the responsibility of you and I to make sure we do not just come to Europe to enjoy the freedom that they fought many years ago and allow our people to perish. The time for propaganda is over. Time for castigation is over. It's time we make sure that our bullets are always full in their cans. Nothing is too small. The sacrifices we have made is paying off. And today, the world is talking about Biafra. It is time we make this particular fire to burn even more and bigger than ever. Airborne to the Biafra Defense Forces. Airborne to the Biafra Liberation Army. Ja, 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 ja. We will win these people.
Airborne!